Chapter 1 of Aunt Jane's Nieces on the Ranch. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Lynne Thompson. Aunt Jane's Nieces on the Ranch by L. Frank Baum. Chapter 1. Uncle John Decides. "And now," said Major Doyle, rubbing his hands together as he half reclined in his big chair in a corner of the sitting room, "now we shall enjoy a nice cozy winter in dear New York." "Cozy?" said his young daughter, Miss Patricia Doyle, raising her head from her sewing to cast a glance through the window at the whirling snowflakes. "Absolutely cozy, Patsy, my dear," responded the major. "Here we are in our own steam-heated flat, 7 rooms and a bath, not counting the closets, hot water any time you turn the faucet, a telephone call brings the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, latest editions of the papers chucked into the passage. What more do you want?" "Tch!" This scornful ejaculation came from a little bald-headed man seated in the opposite corner, who had been calmly smoking his pipe and dreamily eyeing the flickering gas log in the grate. The major gave a start and turned to stare fixedly at the little man. Patsy, scenting mischief, indulged in a little laugh as she threaded her needle. "Sir, what am I to understand from that brutal interruption?" demanded Major Doyle, sternly. "You're talking nonsense," was the reply, uttered in a tone of cheery indifference. "New York in winter is a nightmare. Blizzards, thaws, hurricanes, ice, la grippe, shivers, grouches." "Drumsticks!" cried the major indignantly. "It's the finest climate in the world, bar none. We've the finest restaurants, the best theatres, the biggest stores and the Stock Exchange. And then there's Broadway. What more can mortal desire, John Merrick?" The little man laughed but filled his pipe without reply. "Uncle John is getting uneasy," observed Patsy. "I've noticed it for some time. This is the first snowstorm that has caught him in New York for several years." "The blizzard came unusually early," said Mr. Merrick apologetically. "It took me by surprise. But I imagine there will be a few more days of decent weather before winter finally sets in. By that time—" "Well, what then?" asked the major in defiant accents, as his brother-in-law hesitated. "By that time we shall be out of it, of course," was the quiet reply. Patsy looked at her uncle reflectively, while the major grunted and shifted uneasily in his chair. Father and daughter were alike devoted to John Merrick, whose generosity and kindliness had rescued them from poverty and thrust upon them all the comforts they now enjoyed. Even this pretty flat building in Willing Square, close to the fashionable New York residence district, belonged in fee to Miss Doyle, it having been a gift from her wealthy uncle, and Uncle John made his home with them, quite content in a 7-room flat when his millions might have purchased the handsomest establishment in the metropolis. Down in Wall Street and throughout the financial districts, the name of the great John Merrick was mentioned with awe. Here in Willing Square he smoked a pipe in his corner of the modest sitting-room and cheerfully argued with his irascible brother-in-law, Major Doyle, whose business it was to look after Mr. Merrick's investments and so allow the democratic little millionaire the opportunity to come and go as he pleased. The major's greatest objection to Uncle John's frequent absences from New York, especially during the winter months, was due to the fact that his beloved Patsy, whom he worshipped with a species of idolatry, usually accompanied her uncle. It was quite natural for the major to resent being left alone, and equally natural for Patsy to enjoy these travel experiences, which in Uncle John's company were always delightful. Patsy Doyle was an unprepossessing little thing at first sight. She was short of stature and a bit plump, freckled and red-haired, neat and wholesome in appearance but lacking style in either form or apparel. But to her friends Patricia was beautiful. Her big blue eyes, mischievous and laughing, won hearts without effort, and the girl was so genuine, so natural and unaffected, that she attracted old
Sample complete. Ready to continue?